Hey everyone, welcome to my channel and for a very different kind of flip through. Today I'm sharing an estate sale find with you. It's the 1976 Christmas Wish Book by Sears, and it was the holy grail of Christmas for all of us kids born in the 60s, the 70s, and the 80s. It was delivered in October, and we went through every page of this book circling the things that we hoped were under the tree. We're going to start, of course, with fashion from the 70s. So hold on tight. We're talking lots of polyester, lots of unnatural fabrics, and lots of color. As a kid in the 70s, you also had to choose things for Christmas, like robes and pajamas and slippers. So we're going to go through the whole thing front to back because there's going to be a lot of memories in here. And maybe if you're a little older, you'll see some fashion you wore. And if you're younger, there still might be some toys that your siblings had that make you kind of like spark a little memory for you. Look at these wonderful his and hers pajamas. Were there really a lot of couples wearing matching pajamas in the day? Was that a 70s thing? I don't know. My parents didn't wear matching pajamas, so please tell me if this was a thing because I don't remember it. I do remember these slippery, uncomfortable slippers, though. And as we move past the slippers, I think now look at that fashion. My dad never wore a jumpsuit. Did yours? I don't think anybody should be wearing anything that has to be completely unzipped to go to the bathroom. Here are pajamas, and, I remember football being good, and, oh yes, the Holly Hobby. I don't remember these being comfortable. I know it says flannel, but a lot of this stuff was just scratchy, weird material that was treated with a chemical so that it wouldn't burn if there was a fire in your house. That's all I remember. And those quilted rolls, wow, those robes, they are something. They are form-fitting and cozy, question mark. More pajamas. Of course, we have our typical themes, Holly Hobby, Winnie the Pooh, superheroes, and the like. This was a very big time for Winnie the Pooh, Disney. And I never quite got the tie-on vest look that we sported in the 70s. Was that just to protect the clothes underneath? I'm not sure. Here were our ski coats, a lot of more teen and tween fashion. I was not fashionable, so I wore none of that. Here were the boys' coats, more my speed. And the sweater, the zip-up sweater, and then the ski coat. Why were every coat back in the 70s just basically a box with a zipper and these two square pockets in the front? I mean, there was they were all the same shape, same exact shape. There was a lot of Western wear as an influence in the 70s because of the Little House on the Prairie. That was like a big influencer. Oh, and let's not go to the bodysuit. I refuse. I have trauma from snaps in the crotch. Let's just say that. Okay, so now we're moving on and getting through some of the fashion of the day, which, as we know, the 70s was not the highlight of fashion, although I did love me a pair of gaucho pants. Probably, again, because I was a tomboy and I didn't want to wear a skirt, and that was my way of getting into something that was considered a skirt, but more like pants, as were the knickers we just saw. And now we're going to go into a little bit of adult. The jewelry box is coming, and the clock radio. I believe the clock radio and the jewelry box was the gateway gift to not getting toys anymore. You still were excited to get them, but they weren't really a toy. They were really something more for your room. There was a function to them, but somehow we still wanted them. It was the beginning of the end of toys, so I have still fond memories about them. There's that Western wear again. But yes, we were just transitioning at 8. You still had a couple good Christmases left before you were getting all clothes and practical things. The index, no kid ever looked at the index, let's be honest there. And now we're just going to go into the Fonz. Wow, we thought he was tough, didn't we? Now that you know it's Henry Winkler as an adult, do you ever look back and go, how did we think he was tough? But yes, the Fonz beanbag chair, something for everybody's rumpus room. Now we had bedding, again, not ever soft and made of material that I'm not 100% sure there was anything natural there. A lot of home decor. Maybe y'all are screaming at the screens, seeing something that you grew up with in your house, like the popcorn popper that we all had to have for our movie nights. Now, movie nights were catching it on TV live, probably Disney on Sunday night. There were no DVDs. There was no playing movies. You had to catch it first time around on TV. Or Creature Double Feature, maybe. Oh, look at all the fancy foods we ordered for Christmas. That fruitcake, Aunt Ethel's going to love that. Now we're into sporting goods. We'll get through that a little bit. Just a little word, I was a total tomboy. So the things that I liked and I circled a lot of times were things that boys liked. Now here was the first video game, Pong. Look at that price. Now you're basically making a cursor go back and forth. That was all Pong did. And it was $98. That was a lot for back then. But maybe those fancier homes were able to afford Pong. If you got Pong, your parents totally killed it for you. But I didn't see a video game until the 80s. Here, I wasn't into skating yet, but that was to come. Definitely banana bike seats for me. I had a boy's bike, and I loved my banana seat for sure. Didn't get it out of a catalog. I think it was a hand-me-down from a cousin, but that was fine. We had flying saucers, that's what we called them. Actual metal, because that stays nice and cool for you in the wintertime when you're going down the hill. Holly Hobby, here's stuff that was, Polly Pal, I guess. Things that were more for our rooms. The label maker, I love my label maker. I had the green one. My sister had the dog. Did anybody have the racer? Where are all my organizers at? This is where we started with our label makers. All right, cards. Wrapping paper, no kid cared about that. Books, games. The game section was interesting to me. Like these are like the big wheels. Those weren't big wheels, but I had the green machine, or my brother had the green machine. But as we get in the game section, I remembered, Matchbox. I love die-cast cars. I like Tonkas and die-cast cars and tractors because, again, I was a tomboy. When we get to the game section, it was interesting to me that certain things you never even remember till you see a picture, and then you have this flood of memories. There's a game called the Bucking Bronco that I had no memory of having until I saw it in this section, and I had so many memories. $6 million man, totally cool. Again, not a toy I would have had, but definitely if I was going over someone's house on a sleepover or play date, they would have had that. And to the right, is that Armstrong? I can't remember, the stretchy dude. I had Tonto's horse because I loved horses. Here we have our science-y kind of things. There's the games. Now the Bucking Bronco's coming up down in the bottom in the middle. Watch for it or it'll go by and you will miss this amazing game that you pushed a horse down and it kicked all the toys off. And I absolutely loved it. There it was. You'd have to go back. You probably missed it. And then the calculator, of course, that we all had for elementary school. Again, things I never would have remembered in a million years, but I remember because of this book. And it's interesting how images can bring that all back for you. The models, a lot of boys did models. I didn't have the patience, and I don't think my dad would have had the patience to do one with me. Guitars were big. My sister had a guitar. And again, here are stocking stuffers for $1. Look at the things you could get. A Slinky. We all had the Slinky, right? Viewmasters. Totally something that we had. And look at the bricks blocks. I guess the brand Lego was not a thing for us yet, because I see that it's not exactly that, Tinker Toys. And here was my jam, the erector set. I loved my erector set. Those little motors and all the metal pieces and building things. I have a picture almost exactly like that of me with my erector set. And as we go through, I will mention that my brother was 8 years younger than me. He was born a month before Christmas, this very 1976, so this very wish book. So a lot of toys were also toys that he was given, like on the right here, the doctor's kit was totally what my sister and I played with our cousins. But on the left, there were a bunch of toys on this page that were my brother's that I have fond memories of because I was the one who played with him a lot. Probably didn't get it that year because I don't think an infant needs a camping set. But these toys probably didn't change a whole lot over the years. And I remember him getting a whole bunch of what was on this page and me playing with them. So even though they weren't my toys, I have a lot of memories of them too, which is, I think, what happens in families, right? You have memories of your toys and then your siblings' toys probably. And Little People, I loved the Little People. I loved all the little homes and the plastic figures. I was never much of a doll person, but I did love my Little People. I loved anything tiny. So hopefully you're seeing something that sparks a memory right now as we're flipping through the toy section here. Oh my gosh, that piano with the people's faces that opened, I must have played with a million times with my brother. And a lot of these toys were more of what he had. That little Winnie the Pooh thing where you push the button and the Pooh faces came out. Oh my gosh, I have vivid memories of that. And then the teddy bear on the right, this little orange teddy bear, I'm going to be embarrassed to say, I was way too old to be asking for teddy bears, and I asked for that, and my grandparents got him for me for my birthday. I named him Timothy, and yes, I still have him. Don't judge. Oh, Benji. Benji was a big thing, that was the beginning of Sesame Street. I didn't know anybody with a ventriloquist doll. If you had one, please tell me why. And then lots and lots of kitchens, lots of playing and practicing to be a good housewife one day. It was the 70s after all, and we all had to have lots of little dishes and appliances. They still have them, but I think boys and girls both do them now. The green picnic basket, I loved that. I had that. I did not go on picnics. I was a tomboy. I collected rocks and lizards and probably tortured my mom with what I brought inside the house. Baby dolls, not my thing. If they're your thing, enjoy these pages because these were not pages I ever put a circle on. I was afraid of dolls. They gave me nightmares. I had no idea why anybody wanted to play dress up with them or wash them. But I understand that I was not the norm. So I hope you enjoy looking at these pages. Raggedy Ann and Holly Hobby. They were a little less doll-like to me, so I could get them a little bit. I just saw Huggabees on the right. I don't know what that is. Again, I'm not very well versed in the dolls. Tell me what your favorite doll was. The Sunshine Family, now that was hugely impacted. That was influenced by, Little House on the Prairie. That was a huge thing among my friends. And I did play with them when I went to their houses. Not something I would have ever circled. Probably closer, though, to something I would have been attracted to, though, because there's lots of little things, and I loved Little House on the Prairie. Barbie dolls, no, not for me. Again, understood why so many else liked them, but not for me. I will say, a Barbie discotheque. Is there any limit to what we'll put Barbie through? Let's help Barbie make bad choices with men in bad fashion, dancing to bad music. Poor 70s Barbie. I love his little neck scarf. Oy, 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 oy. But I did like one thing, Barbie, this kitchen. I did not have the Barbie, but boy, did I have that kitchen. It reminded me of a futuristic kitchen like we saw in the Jetsons, and I loved all the little doors and the little pieces. And that carousel kitchen, oh my gosh, I loved it. Loved it. The rest of the page, not so much, but hope you guys enjoy looking at some of those pictures. Hope they're sparking memories for you of maybe a special toy or a moment. Wizard of Oz up there. My first radio on the right-hand page there, it was a little ladybug that you turned the eyes and the wings came up. And look at that fancy toilet bowl radio. Now, you were fancy. If I went into somebody's house with that, I would have thought they were like gazillionaires. And we lived by the local radio station, so we got excellent AM radio on our little radios. Record players and phones. Oh, the teenage girls were getting phones in their rooms, and I thought they had to be so rich and fancy for that. Organs were a big thing of the 70s. And as we finish up this book, I just want to thank you for stopping by. I hope that you enjoyed looking through the 1976 catalog, that there was something in there that sparked your memory, and that you have fond memories of the 70s and of Christmases long ago. So if you liked this video, I hope you will press like and subscribe. And until the next time, keep dreaming about Christmas, people. It's not that far away. See ya.